to Dr. Catherine Gallagher, a Program Director of General Education at Goodwin College, and Goodwin College's Faculty Publications page. In her paper published in 2014, she states that in 1969, there were only 17 courses offered in the United States that were concerned with women. Most of us in this room right now are looking at colleges and thinking about what career we might go into, but few of us know the history behind our future majors. Women's studies has directly affected 20th and 21st century society. Today, I will first inform you about the history of women's studies. Then, I will explain how this discipline impacts our daily lives. Finally, I will discuss the impact it will have on our future global society. To begin, let's discuss the origins of women's studies. The actualization of women's studies in college programs took decades to achieve. It grew out of a frustration among women who were tired of seeing themselves underrepresented in higher education. They were becoming aware of how their sex placed barriers on their educational attainment, achievement, and advancement. So they decided to create courses and later programs that would credit women who had not received any previous acknowledgement. These classes educated students on how sex and gender influence society, and today's courses continue to do just that. Sex and gender influence society greatly today, and the feminist movement that was occurring in the 1960s and 70s helped to improve the discipline. The disciplines movement, the movement space and female empowerment helped garner interest in including women in all areas of academia. Women's studies also includes a variety of topics, ranging from parenting to politics, so that attracts a large variety of students. This, however, did lead to critics attacking the program for being unfocused, too political, and too emotionally charged. However, the fact that women's studies is interdisciplinary was and remains one of its most appealing factors. Now that I have discussed the origins of women's studies, I will explain how it impacts our day-to-day lives. Our day-to-day lives directly affect what is normal in our societies. Dr. Tam O'Neill, a research fellow at the Overseas Development Institute and ODI's briefing publication page, in her paper published in September 2015, reflects on the fact that women who want to forward gender equality often need to find the support of male allies. Fortunately, as I mentioned earlier, women's studies is interdisciplinary, which means that you don't have to be a woman whose interest is gender empowerment to find a class that interests you. And there are also courses that apply to other majors. The United States Department of Education and the National Center for Education Statistics, in a table compiled in January 2017, found that in 2015, 107 men received degrees in women's studies. This proves that a variety of students do take these courses, and it allows men and women to interact before they even enter the workforce. Dr. Pilar Domingo, a research fellow at the Overseas Development Institute and the ODI's Research Studies page, in her article published in April 2015, found that empowerment directly affects societal norms. She believes that developing approaches that address constraints on women will help support women in society, and students have the ability to start working on that while they are still students. She also believes that women who are able to interact with each other around their passions will be more empowered and able to work better together in the actual workforce. And it helps address their capability and strengths, and the opportunities that women's studies courses provide for that interaction greatly affects our society today. Now that I have informed you about how our day-to-day lives are affected by women's studies, I will explain how the discipline will impact our future global society. Dr. Tohin Marani-Shakan, a research scholar at the University of Kerala and the Proceedings of the National Education Meet in 2014, found that equality often equals fair societies. Women who are able to work together with men on different policies can really influence our changes. Women who have resources and voices available to make these changes are greatly able to advance their societies, both in their local communities and overall worldwide. Women are also able better to impact industry and economy when they are educated. Gender equality has been found to increase productivity on both local and global levels. Dr. Shakan believes that for an economy to be truly useful, it must utilize its entire workforce. The fact that women, who make up roughly 50% of the workforce, are underutilized has a huge impact on global economy. Women's Studies is working to combat that underutilization by teaching men and women how to apply themselves better, which will increase our economic capability overall worldwide. Today, I first informed you about the history of women's studies. Then I discussed how the discipline affects our day-to-day lives. Finally, I informed you about how it will impact our global society. Women's studies has directly impacted 20th and 21st century society. Dr. Gallagher found that in 1969, there were only 17 courses in the United States that were concerned with women. But in 2015, the Department of Education found that there were 1,493 degrees in women's studies conferred by United States post-secondary education over that year. Women's studies is relatively new in the history of academia, but its rapid growth over its few decades of existence shows how it is making up for lost time.